and welcome to lesson 1 of week 2. In this lesson, we are going to look at background property in CSS. My name is Mildred. Now in CSS, we have properties that we use to set the background effect of a page or of an element. I have an HTML page here with some text on it, and I have a CSS file here with some basic design, but we are going to focus on the background property. In my file here, I have an image that I have labeled background.jpg. We will use this background image to see how we can set the background of a page. We are going to work with this page and we are going to set styles for the elements on this page. Now we have a background property, written background. Let's set the style for the body element because we want the style applied to the body of the page. And we have a background property. It is a shorthand for several background properties. So the first thing we'll look at is the background color. You can set the color of a background using the background color property written like this, and then the value will be the name of a color or the hexadecimal value of a color or the RGB value of a color. We are going to look at these different color values in details in another lesson. But let's say we just want to set the hexadecimal value of the color. So put a value of the color B9E0 F3. So this will set a background, and when we refresh that page, we have the background change to the color that we specified. Let's say we want an image for the background. We have another property called the background image property written like this. Now you use URL and in a pair of parentheses specify the part of the image. This image is in the root directory and is named background.jpg. So I will say go out once from the CSS folder and get the background.jpg image. When I come here and I refresh, I have the background image here. Now with the background image comes other properties that we use to set this image. By default, images are repeated until the screen is filled, but there are other properties that we use to change these behaviors. Now let's say we want to set the image to not repeat. So we have a property called background repeat, and we can set this to no repeat. There are other values for the background repeat property that you can use. The repeat, which is the default. We can have space, we can have round initial. You can refer to your course resource to see the list of the different values you can put here. Test them out and see what value is appropriate for your use case. So we say this image should not repeat. And then we have other properties like the background position that we use to set the starting position of the background image. So you can say you want to set it to center, or you can have other values like top left, top right. Top left is the default. You can have right top, center top, or you can have length units of measurements where you set the horizontal position and the vertical position, or using percent sign, or you can use initial that sets it to the default, or inherit that inherits from the parent element. So you can use the background position property within background position like this to set that position. Okay, so we can just say we want it to be center. We also have a background size property that we use to set the size of the background image. So when we want to use cover, because we want it to be the image for the page, this is going to set the image for the background to cover the entire page, right? We can use contain, we can use auto, but let's see, when we refresh this, we see that this image cover. So you can use auto, you can use contain. We'll set this to auto and we'll see how it looks on the page when we refresh like that. So depending on your use case, you will know what values you want for the property. We also have something we call background attachment. We can use a background attachment property like this. So background attachment, you want to set if it scrolls with the page or it remains fixed. So we can say fixed, and so it doesn't scroll with the page, and when you scroll, the background remains. You don't want it to scroll with the page. All right, so here we have background attachment. We put fixed. You can change the attachment to scroll, and then this will scroll with the page when you scroll the page. Okay, all right, so these are the different background properties we have. We can have one shorthand background where you set everything in one, where you can set the background image and everything in one background property like this. So you can use background and do URL. We want to have background.jpg. So this we just set only a background image when we use the background property. So this did not set. We want to set the image to reference properly, so it has to go out once to find that image. So you see how the file referencing is very important for you to get the image on the page. All right, so you can use a single shorthand and specify all the properties you want. We have the image, we can have no repeat here, and then we can also have any other property you want to have the value all in one shorthand like that, right? So this is all about background properties. In the next lesson, we are going to look at some text properties in CSS.